organizations such as the Service Club, or also known as the NCO Club. But to my recollection, that's a highly rented venue during this time. And I wouldn't want to take away that income from the association. Memo, when I served with you on the board, we had to make a split-second decision to replace the AC, and it was a very easy decision for us, probably the easiest financial decision we've ever made, because we already had the rental to cover it if we just spent the money. So we got to look at it from all aspects. And so, Brittany, that's our commitment, is to do our best effort to figure out what the cost is going to be, how we're going to pay for that, whether that's private funds, grant funds, sweat equity, however that works. And if at the end of the day it doesn't work and we can't bring it here, we'll find another venue.
And Brittany, I don't know the finances of Fort. It's not my purview, but I will say that the funds that we know of, that we are talking about, is funds that are strictly for the programs, the marketing, and bringing the exhibits to the fort. I will tell you, I receive funds from the THC, but I am a nonprofit organization, and my funds are very slim. So I can't say that Vegas Trail would like to come in and give you $10,000, but that is not something that I can do with the funds for my region, because my funds are tied up in other things. But I would hope that Fort Clark could come up with a way through donations or through sponsorships, working with the HVAC company or the elevator company, the county, whoever, to come up with the funds to do the things that need to be done to Dickman Hall. And with that happening, it could become another place like the service hall or the service building that could be a place where parties and other events can take place. I know I've heard many stories in the past about how proms used to be held in Dickman Hall and things like that. So to me, and this is just my personal 2 cents, but it's investing in the future of the fort. If we can come up with the funds, if we can come up with the donations, the sponsorships, or whatever is needed to do what is needed to Dickman Hall to make it the building. But as Travis said, if that's not something that y'all are willing to invest in, or that y'all have the funds to invest in, then we will look for another building.
Exhibit is coming to Kinney County no matter what. It's just a matter of which building it's actually going to be in.
And I think the perfect example is what we recently heard from DLP. I mean, they said that they're doing their service here at a rate that doesn't really make sense for them because they have an affinity for the fort. The only way that we can go talk to partners and talk about what's this going to cost and how are they going to do it is if we have this signed so that we can say this is where it's going, right? This is what we're going to do. So once we have this and we have this in place, then we can say, well, we have this venue, we have this wonderful exhibit, we have all these wonderful regional partners. Now, can you help us? And this is what it's going to do for this community. So that's the reason for the rush on trying to get this done, is because, like Brittany said, it's not a long runway. You know, it sounds like November. In fact, when I first mentioned this to Jason, he was like, y'all are going to start in November? And I was like, not in like 4 weeks, like next November. So
typical Fort Clark timeline is we hear about it 3 weeks ahead.
No. So yes, a year sounds like a long time. We all know that it's not. So, but this is the first step. And so thank y'all for calling a special meeting and putting this together, and thank all of y'all for coming out to understand further what we're doing. Anything else I can answer?
Stand by. Mr. Baker? If anybody wants to speak, just raise your hand. You'll be next after Mr. Baker. Okay. Welcome back, Ms. Warren.
Yeah, I'm Baker Hughes. And some of y'all may or may not know that I'm beginning to put together a proposal to reopen Dickman Hall, to reopen the steakhouse and ballroom. So I just put a draft on their table this morning or this afternoon. And Charlena has that also. So we're still doing more research. So there's probably going to be a symbiotic relationship here, obviously, between the fort and myself if this thing gets launched.
Mr. Baker.
But all I wanted to
Mr. Baker,
offer right now was just.
Are we talking about the MOU or are we talking about your, we can't
No,
talk
we're
about your
talking
thing.
about, I understand.
Okay.
All I'm going to do is offer that myself and Spec, I don't know if y'all know Spec Schaefer, he actually worked in that
Yeah.
building when he was 18.
Yes, sir.
And so what I'm offering up is that we actually did an assessment on Dickman Hall about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. And we don't believe there's thousands, we're not talking about capital improvements in the order of $500,000 or something like that. I think sometimes people think because the building has not been utilized, that it's in total disrepair, it's unfunctional and so forth. That's not the case. You know, it's very close to being usable. Now, it needs some cosmetic things, yes, to make it nice. But this place is not falling down. I'm not sure there's $100,000 worth of work to be done here. You know, we were talking 20, maybe 20,000, not even that really. So that was our assessment. After spending 2.5 hours walking from top to bottom, walking through all the bathrooms and these fixtures upstairs, these toilets, these sinks, these lavatories, each paint. But we're not talking about, you know, $50,000 even in our assessment.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Ms. Warren? Welcome back from the state of Washington.
I was trying to bring rain in closer, you know, while I'm working. I do have to apologize because,
Mike?
oh, I'll stand on my tippy toes. Can you hear me now?
Did anybody is this county of the city of Brackettville, have they been approached with this also? Is there any communication between the fort and the county saying thoughts or?
We've been asked first. That's why we're here today.
So they don't know anything about it?
They are
Nowhere.
aware. In fact, in order to get this, we had to have a letter of support from the county judge. So we do have a letter of support for the county, from the county judge to bring this to Kinney County, but we are giving Fort Clark the first opportunity to host this.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
If I can answer a question
yeah.
also. I did visit with Judge Schuster yesterday, and he said, I asked if we could approach his grant writers and if they would be able to help us do some research. And he said that was fine with him. He's open to helping us, and he's going to try to see if they have anything in their budget to help us with marketing it, flyers, things like that. So the county is very supportive of us. And if it comes where we can't have it here, then they will be open to having it over in the visitor center or Fritter Hall or whatever. But the county is very supportive.
My next question, I have no idea, maybe she knows, how big is this exhibit, okay, that's going to be coming? Has it been going from town to town to city? And where was it before and where's it going to go after us?
To be honest with you, I don't know all the locations, the order of the locations. The communities that will have the exhibit this next year: Kerrville, Alpine, Atlanta, Snyder, Brackettville, and there's one other, and I can't remember who the other one is.
Taylor.
Taylor, thank you. The exhibit itself are I believe it's 8 large panels. There are interactive screens where people will get to interact on a screen, so there'll have to be electricity and everything. It is shipped in large cases, and we as the initial committee, we will have to go to Kerrville when they do the setup of it to learn how to do the setup and the teardown. So we will be there when they do the initial setup of the exhibit to learn how to put it together so that when it comes to us, we will know what to do.
Kathy, a sample has been sent to dispatch.
I haven't tried, we don't want to go there, Mr. Guzman. I've been trying to get in the dispatch since April.
Okay,
But,
well,
you know,
she can fix that.
okay. I have another question then. Okay, so Dickman Hall is not a very large area. I'm assuming that the exhibit would take care of the top floor, bottom floor, and there'll be enough room for all this?
So what we were kind of looking at when we walked the building earlier this this month, is we believe that the exhibit area would be like the main ballroom area. And then the room on the end, on the ground floor, we could use as a room for programs. I don't know if there's a special name for it, but it's at the little stairs to the right when you walk in the door. And then we were hoping to use the outline area upstairs for partners from the region. So, for instance, we brought in the Whitehead Memorial Museum from Del Rio, and somebody from Fort Duncan, Eagle Pass, and somebody from Seminole Canyon State Park and Comstock or something like that, and let them set up tables in that outline area upstairs around the ballroom to bring the partners in to showcase them along with the exhibit itself.
Okay, I have just one more question. Okay, so this has to be ADA approved, so I'm assuming that people with wheelchair, is the elevator, I guess the elevator is big enough for a wheelchair. Oh, this is dancing. What the heck? Okay. I think that's all I have. I think it's a great idea. And the only thing I would say is if it doesn't work, and I'm concerned about handicapped people and accidents and everything, and the convention center is just one floor, you know, but I understand with bringing everything over. That's my big one. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have the dates. I do have the dates of where these exhibits are going to be and when they're going to be, if you'd like to see it afterwards.
Also, there's going to be a town hall on Sunday, November 2nd at the Fritter Room to get more in depth into the actual program itself. If the board wants to talk more about the MOU versus the whole program, there is that opportunity to do this.
Come on down.
My name is Leslie Jones. I'm here to figure out, because no one seems to know anything about it. Is this anything with the 250, America 250 at all?
No, ma'am.
It's going to be completely different. Okay. And I'm asking because I am vice regent of the DAR in Uvalde. And we are very interested in having tables, as what you were saying, to set up. And we are doing a 250. Our chairman, who lives here on the fort, Debbie Milano, is gone now to Virginia for a while. She should be back at the first part of November. We are very interested in it. A grant writer of high esteem with the judge is also a DAR member, so we might be able to help in that respect.
Thank you.
So I will let our regent know, pass the information on what I've heard, but this is an opportunity, and if we desert this, forget about the fort, because it's going to bring a lot of people of a statue. I'm so glad that we were even considering it, because we're trying to get things to go, and it's all evolving, and we need to get something here for Bracketville. Very serious.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
anything else that I can find, I will be willing to work with you.
Thank you, Ms.
Okay.
Jones. Thank you so much. Ms. Hader, come on down. Katie, you be next, then Lisa. Curtis, just stay focused. Hi, Ms. Hader.
Hi. Some of us who are old remember when there was a great restaurant upstairs in Dickman Hall. And it seems to me that you should sign this memo immediately so that whatever repairs need to be made to Dickman Hall can morph into a nice restaurant. And that would be a great thing for this community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Katie?
I just want to say, we have not received a dollar amount, what the fort is supposed to spend on this. We just had our assessments raised. Great possibility of us getting a one-time assessment to repair the hotel. And I don't think HOA members should have to pay 1 penny for this. If people want it to come, let them untie their personal purse string and pay for it. I don't think the members should be obligated to do so.
Thank you, Ms. Katie. For the record, on Saturday, I said almost the exact same thing. I'm all for it, but we need private monies to handle this due to the cost of what it'll take Dickman Hall to get fixed. Come on down, Lisa.
What's that to me? Go Lisa. I will probably forget half of what I was going to say because I always get nervous. I guess I have a couple of questions to clarify. Is the board considering trying to find funds to make some of these repairs or improvements? Is that on the table at this point? Well, I mean, it was in the last meeting.
Find or we try to find funds.
Use
Like
your
if-
mic, Jason.
Well, someone has my mic. So what do you mean by finding funds? Like in one of our other bank accounts, or like collecting from third-party people, or what?
No, from what you stated in the last, I think it's the last one, I don't know the exact words, that finding, using the restricted money.
What I stated was this would be a capital improvement to Fort Park property owned by the membership,
Right.
which would be prime use of the restricted fund.
Okay,
Yes.
so does that mean you are leaning toward that, and that's what you would want to
It
do?
means that I have no idea, because we're just trying to get the basis level of agreement that we're interested in, so we can find out. We do special meeting for a restricted budget. When is that? Saturday? Next
Another
Saturday?
one? Another special meeting? Wow.
Hey, for a restricted budget, which we're required, as you well know, by resolutions filed at the courthouse.
Yes, that could have been rescinded.
Well, it wasn't by you or anyone else, so.
Well, or after, yeah.
Yeah,
so-
so that's because I'm for the restricted fund budget, because it's a separate pool of money that we should budget for and use in a wise manner.
Oh,
for a
I
long-term future.
absolutely believe that should be used in a
Then why would
wise
you like
manner.
for the thing to be rescinded?
Because at this, you can make any budget you want for the restricted fund, but as soon as the bulldozer at the,
So we should make no plans for the future.
no, we
because
do make plans for the
sometimes it
future,
rains.
but you're gonna, and yeah, a budget would be great, but there's been a lot of other things that have happened. And even if you have that budget and you have a major breakdown of equipment like we have, because the landfill's not running,
if I-
right? Can I finish? The land, well,
No,
no, let me
we're not.
finish
Hold on.
if I'd like to say, is we have a lot of things right now that we need fixed. We're upping the assessments. We've talked about doing a special assessment for the motel. The motel, because of the way it was handled, the costs to repair it have doubled, and the top floors are shut down, and we've lost the revenue. No, and we've lost revenue.
It's still a part of the MOU. Go ahead, Lisa. Let her finish up, please.
Like I said, it has doubled the cost of repairs and shut down the top and lost us revenue. You're talking about doing a budget for the restricted fund. You don't even know what's in the restricted fund because it hasn't been reconciled along with the rest as far as I know. And I think this is a great idea, but I think for the association at this point, I mean, I have no problem signing maybe this memorandum of understanding, but I feel like it's going to put us in a corner because anywhere that this goes, in Brackettville or here, will benefit the entire community. Whether it's in town or here, it will benefit this community. And if we have a hotel that's fully open, we can house the people that come for this, if the people come for this. I think it's great, but I think I just don't think we have too much that we need to spend our money on to even be considering. And signing this memorandum of understanding, yes, it gets things rolling. Well, so if it goes to Brackettville. But once you get things rolling, then all of a sudden it's like, well, we need to do it. Well, let's find the money. Let's do it. So I'm just expressing my concerns that we are in no position to be spending money like that at this point in time with the association and where we're at.
Thank you.
We were in a position to burn up all the ERC money, weren't we?
now we're getting off topic.
I
Now
said we
getting
were in
off
a position to spend all the money down
Not-
to where the
that's-
ERC money is gone now.
Oh, no, that has not happened.
It didn't?
topic.
Can you, have you read the bank balances lately?
Yeah.
So we're
And where's our,
I'd like to
where's
call a
our
point of
association?
Right,
with
we're
that?
on some-
Point of order.
I've got a point of order. We're
Okay.
getting way off topic. We're not asking for money and we're not committing money. It says very clearly in the memorandum of understanding that the locations within the fort, that alternate locations be considered immediately if we get to a place we can't get the money. But it's very clear that we're not committing anything. We have no idea. We don't even have our budget in QuickBooks yet, so we don't even know what our budget is that we can do anything. So we can't make any decisions on what we're going to do. We can make a decision on trying to get this thing going and see where we are by the end of the year, and then we'll be having a town hall. I'm sure they're going to be wanting to have a town hall and have committees, people that want to sign up and be on committees and volunteers to get everybody involved that want to get involved from the fort and from Bracketville. But right now, we just need to get started. We've had, we've had from the county, the judge says and she said about the DAR on the doing grants at the county, we have this permission to contact them to use whatever resources the county has to help us get this thing going. And that's all we need to do today is vote on that we're going to get it going. We'll have a town hall. We'll get the members involved. You'll be able to talk and say whatever you want. This is a board meeting that we called to approve or disapprove of this MOM. So that's all we do. And I think a while ago, Travis said something about they're having in November a meeting at Fritter Hall to do more discussion with the county and Bracketville. So we just need to get it going. And that's what we're here for. And I appreciate everybody coming and I appreciate their views. But right now isn't the time to start bringing up everything because there's no way we can make decisions on it until we know where we're going.
Yes, Mr. Benham.
Thank you. The concern, I think, is that I've heard from other people, myself included, is that signing this memorandum of understanding will put the fort behind the 8 ball because at some point somebody's going to make the suggestion that we go ahead and come up with the money. So what Ms. Vale was saying and what I'm saying and what others may be saying is that we have that concern. So I don't have a problem with the MOU per se. I don't have a problem with this coming here. But I think the people in the audience and the people listening are nuts if they think that this MOU is going to end up that we don't spend any money. The fort will end up on the hook for this. That's my opinion. Mark my words. I have a couple of concerns. We've talked about money and stuff, and we heard things like there are funds available. There are budgets that align with that are going to help with this MOU process. Alignment and availability doesn't mean commitment. So that's a concern. So it seems to me like there's a lot of people that think this is a done deal and the money's going to magically fall out of the sky. And I don't know that the fort can fundraise for capital improvements if we want to offset it that way. I don't know what all the rules are. So all I'm asking is that we go in a deliberate process here because if I don't know that Dickman is going to be made ADA compliant with $50,000 or $80,000. And that's a requirement, as I understand it, for this thing.
I'd like to address this because these kind of issues actually come up with the motel as well as part of the repairs. And the thing is this conversation keeps going to what actually is going to be the capital budget, the restricted budget conversation. And so those concerns really belong there. But regarding the ADA requirements, there are requirements from the Smithsonian. There are also exceptions to historical buildings. Otherwise, our motel would be unusable as it is at all. So similarly with Dickman Hall, we have to meet a certain level of requirements, but it's not necessarily the base level of ADA. I can tell you, maybe our bathrooms have to be modified to be ADA. The elevator, which which I haven't been inside, it's not hard to, you'd be amazed how small ADA elevators can be. And it's just about egress on top of that. So there's no major, as Mr. Hughes I think recognizes, there's no major renovations to Dickman Hall that would be necessary that radically change it. As a historic structure, it gets a lot of exemptions in certain departments to be, you know, compliant, but not compliant in a way that a new structure would be. And that's most of our historic structures anyway, and that includes the type of use that it gets classified as regarding the motel.
And thank you for that information, sir. But you're the first one to mention it, because when we start throwing around words like ADA compliant, people go to the baseline. So I just have some concerns that this is going to end up chewing us up. It's going to end up costing us more money. It's going to cost us money that I don't think we have. And I realize that you're not discussing that right now, but just put this down as my opinion and my prediction.
Thank you, Mr. Benham. Ms. Gregoire, then Mr. Buckle.
Short, sweet.
Yes, ma'am.
Aaron, have you been in the bathrooms at Dickman Hall?
Yeah, not recently, but I've done all of it. Except for this.
Okay, so in the big room there, you have to go up 2 steps to get to the ladies' room. How is somebody in a wheelchair or a walker supposed to get up those 2 steps?
You put 1 inch per foot is the ADA requirement.
Yes, exactly.
You know, approximately.
We need a ramp.
You have to use ramps.
Okay, and the toilet.
And they don't have to be permanent ramps either.
The toilet also is like for munchkins, so we would have to have new toilets put in there.
So ADA requirements on toilets are not what you think they are. It's the real requirement for an ADA bathroom is a 5-foot radius turning circle and grab bars to be used. So effectively what looks like a hospital bathroom qualifies as an ADA bathroom, and not every bathroom has to be an ADA compliant. There has to be an ADA compliant bathroom possible. We could have 1 ADA compliant bathroom, one space, and that would qualify us. Now, again, I have to go walk in those bathrooms again and really kind of observe what it would take, but I certainly have converted normal residential homes to ADA compliance as a part of a volunteer effort when I was in college. Even there's a lot of things that can be done. It's actually not that expensive. They're not even necessarily permanent. So there are a number of ways to do it, and I'm happy to assess the building and contribute whatever I can to show you all the tricks to get us there. I mean, sometimes it's just handrails, ramps. I mean, it's simple things.
Right, and that bathroom has nothing, and it, like myself, if I use the restroom at Dickman, I have to grab a hold of the door to get myself up off that toilet seat, but it is low, and I don't know.
Toilets are $200, and it's really not.
Right, I know, but there's no grab bars, there's nothing to help you get up. So
Grab bars are reasonably cheap too. That's what I'm saying. These aren't, as Mr. Hughes said, it's not a whole lot that needs to be done to bring this up. I think the elephant in the room is that we don't know a number. We don't have a number, but we're working on getting that number. And we're happy to. And this does go again back to capital budget, which is what we're supposed to have for these kinds of things. I mean, I'm for getting Dickman functional again, because I really haven't seen it functional since I was a kid. And it would be a great venue for us, but if it's little things like that that are holding us up, they're not holding it. That is separate even from the MOU for the Smithsonian. That's actually just bringing the building kind of up to par so we could use it again, which would then ideally generate income. If we could use that for weddings, for prom, for quinceañeras, whatever, it'd be like the service hall, a revenue generating income structure, which it has not been for a long time.
And I appreciate your mentioning that. I've never been in the restroom there, but those are things that whether we do this or not have to be done. They have to be done. And it's great that you brought it to our attention. Thank you.
You know, to me, this is an opportunity for the entire community, the county, the city, the Fort membership, for everybody to come together and possibly fix one of the best buildings that's owned by the membership. So we're gonna sit here and argue and bicker, you're trying to get money, you're gonna get money, you're gonna do this. Let's just get busy and see what we can get done. This could have been a 5-minute meeting about, let's just agree to non-committal MOU, but we're getting us out in the air, so let's work together instead of fighting. Who agrees with that? Okay.
Yes, Ms. Jones.
Of how many people in this audience has been to a function at the Dickman Hall upstairs?
Upstairs?
We used to have a lot of fun upstairs, dancing, all kinds of stuff. It's, to me, I would rather see money put in Dickman Hall instead of the motel. We have renovated the motel so many times, and I realize you're gonna do it again. I kept quiet. But once they took the windows out, it's not historic. And so we're just putting money down the hole. It has been renovated so many times, we could have used that money to other buildings around the floor.
Thank you, Ms. Jones.
I would like to say on the motel, the reason that we're having to do this now is because of the way it had been previously done, and it is a safety issue. We're on the verge of having the entire motel shut down with no income coming in. It is not really a renovation, it's a safety issue that has to be fixed. Yeah, please do.
The upstairs is shut down. It's not on the verge of, it is shut down. And use of it would be reported to the state. It is not we're doing this for fun or whatever. It is a safety hazard, and the engineers said if it was not addressed, it would be reported to the state. This is not an optional repair.
Yes, Mr. Riggins. Hold on, Mr. Riggins. You can come up next if you want.
Thank you all. I'm sensitive to your time, but I appreciate the opportunity to wear a couple of different hats and share my experience having been to one of these in the last year. So I was able to visit the museum on Main Street because while on vacation, my wife and I started seeing calendars and flyers that this was happening. We saw it at the restaurant. We saw it at the state park we were staying at. We saw it everywhere we went. It was very obvious. I went there because I'm a history enthusiast. And when I say that, I'm not a building enthusiast. I'm not a stuff enthusiast. I'm not an antiquarian of historic things. I'm interested in the heritage. I'm interested in the stories and the people. And that's what's not being talked about here about this exhibit and the program that surrounds it, is that this will be about our heritage. This can be about the stories, the people, the rich history that we share together here. And that's what got me excited about it. And the exhibit itself, I won't say anything because it's being reported, but that's not what people will probably remember. What people will remember is the community enthusiasm and the culture that they see there when they visit us, and the local partners who bring their heritage tourism opportunities, whether it's our state parks or our fellow museums or others. What they will remember is, I want to come back to this region. So excited about that, appreciative of how small investments, been working with the group raising funds for pickleball, a quality of life here that we're excited about, and I want to thank you publicly for putting a little money in that. That little money will go a long way to a quality of life issue, and it's the same here. I'm a member of Los Morris 444, the local lodge. We're celebrating our 150th anniversary next year. The timing is perfect to highlight what communities have done for 150 years to make the quality of life better here in Brackettville and rural Texas.
Are you talking about the Masons? The Masons Lodge? Okay.
Yes, sir. So we have a lot of folks lined up. We have a lot of partners that have indicated that. I've also spoken to folks
who lived right under the museum on Main Street. Miss Brittany was on before, and I agree completely with her that, look, this is about the programming. This is about what this could be. Your enthusiasm starts it all. And so I really think as we go out, whether we're trying to get programmers and good speakers to come here, the venue does make a difference. It's either an attractive venue or it's a ho-hum venue where they go, could I Zoom y'all? You know, I'd be happy to talk with you, but could I just Zoom y'all? So it could be that. And the Smithsonian, if they were here today, say that that's the gamut that you will see, is communities that hosted it, put the exhibit in a room at the library, and only children who were forced to go there with their school saw it. That would be a travesty here because it is so culturally rich.
Thank you, Mr. Reagan.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Comments, ideas regarding? Let's stay on topic, Steve. Let's stay on topic.
Can we, before we get the cart for the horse here? Good idea, guys. Okay, can we put it back on future a little bit because we need to repair these buildings first. Just go down and look at town hall, double doors. No sense in that. They should be secured and locked. If they can't do it, you get somebody qualified to fix it. Repair all the broken windows over at the adult center. Repair the doors. Repair the windows. The upstairs window's been broken for almost 2 months. The weather's been going in and out through it. Fix it. Piece of cardboard and duct tape. That's what we got security and maintenance for. Security's supposed to be walking around all of the buildings, checking the windows, checking the locks and everything. I turn the lights off, on and off. Just fix and maintain the buildings. Work at the pool. That's if we lose.
Sorry, point of order. This does not have anything to do with
Yes, sir.
it. Does
Yes, it does. Because if we lose this right here, we're going to have nothing here.
Building that needs repair, so don't do it.
Not now.
Or not now.
Do these buildings first at more priority and then work on that. Okay, you can work on the background building. Look on the background. Make sure you got all your ducks in a row, all your information.
Be careful, Charlene. Thank you, Keith. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Charlene.
I just wanted to say that I think it's a wonderful idea to do this for our school children, to bring more people in. It is fabulous. My husband and I came here probably 30 years ago. We drove in. He was a historian. And he said, this is the most fabulous place I've ever seen. And he said, it's all these old buildings and all this history. I'm not much into history, but he was. And that's why we drove in and he said, this is where we're going to stay. And I've loved every minute. And I know we need money, but we need grant writers really bad. And yes, we need these people to come in and do this, to get us on the map again, to get people coming to see us. We need money. And the only way you're going to get money is to have people come in. How many people come in this gate right now? Just people that live around here. How many people in Del Rio have never even heard of us? It is ridiculous. In Uvalde, it's the same way. We're 35 miles, 45 miles from each one of those, and they don't even know we're here. I think it's a prison or something, they'll say. It's got a fence around it. It's got a gate, a guard gate. We have to do this for advertisement. So keep that in your mind.
Thank you, Ms. Charlene.
So what we need here, like you said, everyone in this room is in here because they love this place, because they feel this place. Everyone has a story how they never heard of this place, and then they showed up. How much of a member in good standing worked with us for 35 years? A good member of the community, someone that might be here for years. They might be on the board. They might be on the head of committees. 35 years of payments, I would assume on time. How much is that worth to us? If 3,000 people come in here, how many of you think might buy a house? How many of you might live here till the last day? We can't afford to not try to get this exposure here. We cannot.
Hello, Ms. Constance.
Doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah, well, he's doctor too. Just being polite. I want to say what Charlene has said. You know, a lot of times when people have lived here a long time, they forget how special of the place that they live is. I have lived in other special places, and it becomes commonplace to us after we've been here a while. But to people coming in here, it is wow. Just like Charlene said, this is really special. That's how I got here. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
I would like to get back onto the what we came here for and make a motion that we accept the MOU and we get started down the road to find out where we can go.
I'll second that motion. Double second.
The only discussion I have is to possibly remove the last paragraph under financial responsibility. The last paragraph.
A motion was made and seconded.
Yeah.
Vote on the floor.
We need to call a vote.
Okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4 yeses. Any opposed?
Oh.
4-1.
May I say something? No. Look, I think it's very important. I was not for this MOU the way it was written in the beginning, but I think through working with Annabelle, it's very important to note that this expires on December 1st. Okay. So I think we need to go ahead and make a note that we'll have to be speaking about this at the November meeting with a new MOU. And hopefully by then, that's only a short 3 weeks away, November 18th, something like that. 16th, 17th, something. Anyway, we're going to have, there's a lot of work to do between point A and point B, and we'll have to be renegotiating a new MOU. And I would also, just a note to the board, so this is not a very long time, guys. And I was the first one to call foul on this, and I don't see a lot of danger at the moment. I think that the board needs to make an attempt to dig into this some and Mr. Hughes' proposal, because there very well may be not only a need, but a must for you to be working hand in hand with the Moms Committee in order to somehow figure out how to make all that work if the board ends up deciding to let you do the restaurant. So because it sounds like there's going to be some community space that will have to be shared, if this all goes through. So just everybody needs to remember this is only a 30-day memorandum of understanding currently the way it sits right now. So we will be back here negotiating this again in next meeting.
On November 15th. The next board meeting will be November 15th, 2026. FYI. And is there any other further business regarding this matter? All right, we are now going to adjourn at 5:06 until our next meeting is November 15th. Thank you.